everybody, it's Abby Glassenberg from Craft Industry Alliance, and we are very excited to do our member spotlight, which we try to do every Wednesday. We did miss last week, but we're back, and today we're going to be talking to Natalia Khorover. Natalia is a wonderful artist. She makes work focusing on environmental issues, specifically using found and discarded materials like single-use plastics and things like that. She paints and stitches with them and makes just wonderful work that I truly love, and I'm very excited for her to be here. Natalia, I see you here, and if you can request to join at the bottom, I would be happy to let you in and we can start chatting. While we wait for Natalia to do that, I did want to say we are very excited because this week we just planned our member party that's going to be taking place one of the evenings during H&H Americas. So we're going to be getting together on that evening of June 23rd at Crest Brewery in Rosemont for dinner and drinks, and I'm super excited about that. So we are just getting that invitation up and running. If you're going to be at H&H and are a member, we would love to hang out, have dinner, chat with you, and it'll be great. Hey, Natalia, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm really good. It's good to see you again. I know you were at our round table, which I think was last week now. Time kind of slips by, but that was great. And I love your work so much. It is architectural and it focuses on reuse and sustainability. And I just think all of those things are fabulous. So I wondered if you could tell us a little bit about your background and your creative journey and how you got to become an artist.
Well, sure. So I started off in fashion design. And then I spent about a decade working for fast fashion, companies like Sasan and Gitano.
Okay.
If you remember those.
Yeah.
And then I went on to work in film and television. I was a costume designer and a wardrobe supervisor. So in and around New York City, Philadelphia, whatever movies or TV shows were going on, I was working in those. And that also lasted for about a decade. And then after that, I was home with two little babies. But I couldn't not do anything. So I started making art first from fabric scraps because, well, that was easily available to me from my past careers. They were everywhere. And then I eventually started doing it more seriously. I submitted to exhibitions. I submitted to publications, and I started using more and more recycled and repurposed materials because it felt right. That was the right thing to do. Right. So, and that's just kind of how it started.
And how long ago was that? How long have you been a practicing artist?
So I have to judge that by my daughter's age. She's about to turn 20.
Okay. So it's been a good while that you've been working on this pursuit. That's great. Yeah. And so you've done a lot of different sort of in your portfolio, sort of different kinds of groupings of work. Some of it's stitched, some of it's made with, I saw a beautiful sort of installation of birds and trees that were made with single-use plastics and things like that. So tell us a little bit about your body of work and kind of how you describe it in your own words.
Well, I'm a city girl. I've been living in suburbia for over 20 years, but I'm really a city girl at heart. I grew up in the city. So for me, making work that's inspired by the urban life is something that felt natural. And I'm always the type of a person to be on a photo safari in any city, taking pictures of weird angles and, up and down and fire escapes and all of that. So it felt natural to start there. So that's my main body of work, is anything inspired by the city, whether it's New York City or St. Petersburg, where I'm originally from. So that's the main thing. But the more I started getting into using single-use plastic as my material, the more it made sense to try different things with it. So I I was invited to do a project with the local art show. We were cutting out leaves from single-use plastic and making the logo of the tree with it. And then I wound up creating more nature-inspired art from plastic. You know, it's kind of ironic to be creating work out of something that is killing our environment, so to speak. So that I kind of went in that direction, and I've always been a fan of installations whenever I see them at art exhibits or in, you know, anywhere. I it's exciting to see them interacting and wherever they're placed, site specific. And I've always, you know, it's exciting to try to figure out how the artist did the work as well. So an opportunity presented itself. So I made the first installation and I loved doing it. And I've, you know, been looking out for other opportunities and have taken them as they have come my way, as much as I can. So
Yeah.
that's how it
Yeah,
goes.
it's a big job to do an installation. Figuring it requires a lot of planning, a lot of visits to the site and measuring, and then thinking creatively about how to make almost like an immersive environment for people to enter into.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of logistics to it. So it's not just the creative stuff, but it's also the administrative and the logistical stuff. And all of that is exciting to me.
Yeah, that's great. Do
Yeah.
you have some samples or some things from your studio that are near you that you might be able to show us?
I have a few things. The issue is that I am in the process of clearing out my studio and moving to the new one, but I haven't done either one of those. So I'm sort of in the middle of clearing out this one, but I'm not set up in the other one yet. So it's a little crazy, but I have a bird next to me. This is a
Oh,
bird
wow.
made out of single-use plastic. Um, it's actually, I think, might be the only one in my studio right now, because all the other ones are in New Jersey at the Wildlife Sculpture Garden. They've actually been there since December and they're holding up very well. But this is one bird that I kept back because it was part of something else, and now it's just sitting around in my
So
studio.
what were the materials that you used, the specific materials that you used to make that bird?
So her head and body are a pasta bag. I don't know if you recognize it. Oh, here's the logo here.
Oh, yes.
Her tail is straws,
Okay.
and the wings are another plastic bag. I'm not sure which plastic bag they are. And I just used some embroidery floss to put her together, and she hangs from a string.
And you said that they're outside, it sounds like, and they're holding
Yes.
up very well, which comes to show you that that's what happens with plastic. It can get
Yep.
rained on and snowed on and blown around in the wind, and it's too durable, which is the
Yep.
problem.
It's exactly it. It's going to outlast us all. The birds that are outside right now were also spent 3 months last summer at a different location. So, you know, this is they're probably, by the time they're done, they're going to be, they would have spent about a year outside and done just
They,
fine. A
and
little
they
bit
look fine.
faded, but that's it.
Yeah, faded, right? The colors should be a little bit faded. All
Yeah.
right, so that bird is really cool and kind of gives folks a sense, and also might be some inspiration to take some things out of your trash, or intervene before they enter your trash, I guess. Maybe clean them
Exactly.
off if they need to, get some scissors, get some embroidery floss, and see what you can create that's beautiful out of something that really is going to probably end up in a landfill.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I teach a lot of classes on how to create from single-use plastic. And one of the questions that I always get asked is, where do you find all this plastic? And
We
unfortunately,
all have it. If you
we
stop and look,
exactly.
right, you're just, taking that one little step in between using, emptying something and putting it in the garbage. If you just, put it aside, you've got plenty
Yeah,
of art materials right in your own house. We all
exactly.
do.
Yeah, it's just a matter of pausing for just a second
Right.
and thinking of what is in your hand and what you can do with it.
Yeah,
But,
that's 100% true. So I have a fondness in my heart for birds. I wrote a bird book, and this one isn't in the book, but as I was making all the different birds, I did make one of them that was entirely from the labels in the back of my clothes. So I went through all my clothes, I cut off all the labels,
Mm-hmm.
and then I just fused them together on one piece of fabric, and I cut the whole bird and its wings and everything from these. I didn't know what size any of my clothes were for like a year, but yeah, like from my bra, from everything, and it was a very cool experiment. But I love like that found material that otherwise, is just you don't even think about it.
Yeah. There's an artist whose name escapes me, but she made a whole huge quilt out of all those labels.
That's
And the quilt
amazing.
depicts women, I want to say in India at a sewing factory.
Oh
And
wow.
the entire thing, it looks like it's a black and white photograph, but when you get closer, it's all made from the clothing labels.
That's incredible. I have to
It,
see that. Maybe we'll find it
yeah.
after this. That's really cool.
Yeah. I saw it at the Museum of Art and Design in New York City years ago.
Wow. But it
But I
sticks with
can't,
you because that's
yeah,
so cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
So we saw the bird. Do you have anything else around or materials that you could show us? Any other sort of neat stuff
sure.
from the studio?
So I can show you a couple of things. So in April, I did a challenge online. I don't know if you saw it, but I challenged people to find single-use plastic and stitch it onto something, and then create something with it. But the main challenge was to find something daily and stitch something. So I'm going to reverse my camera. So
Yeah.
there you go. So I went live every day actually, and I did a little stitching on something, on anything. And just the other day, I finally stitched it together into a little book. It's not finished yet, just the pages are stuck together.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just whatever I came across. Sometimes it was my own trash. Sometimes it was something that I picked up off the street. But it was just a practice of easily sewing through something and just explaining that anything can be stitched, anything can be created into an artwork.
And what are the pages made from, the clear material?
Ziploc bags. I had a whole bunch of Ziploc bags that were no longer useful, and they weren't being used for food anymore either. I was keeping projects in them, and I cut them up and made them into pages. So
Okay.
this was
And so
this was
the
a fun experience.
the plastic is just stitched right onto the bag. There's no fusing or anything.
Nope, no fusing. You can see the seams right there. I just
Right.
stitched each piece is stitched by hand, and then I just used the machine to stitch the pages together. I'm going to
Right.
make it into more of a proper book, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. But see, there's zip ties and
Oh yeah.
a snack bag into a flower. I mean, there's just so many options out there. And, this is very, very simple. This is from the tops of thread
Yep.
thread spools.
Recognize those. Yep.
Yeah. So it's, anything and everything can be used for art. So that's what I wanted to encourage.
Yeah.
And the other thing I can show you is I create portraits of homes that are made from the ephemera that people send me. So here's one in progress right now. I'm doing a lot of hand stitching. So the picture of the house itself was printed on color catcher sheets digitally, and I am doing some embroidery work all around it, making it interesting. So that's what's going on in my studio at the moment. Oh, and there's a
Wow.
sketch for a commission that's going to be all leaves. So that's behind that. But
And what is that one going to be made from, the commission piece?
that's going to be made all out of single-use plastic. So I just made the sketch, but it's going to be all these multitudes of autumn leaves in different colors of plastic.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
going to be incredible too. This has
I
been
hope so.
so cool. So, can I ask, do you ever sort of feel like a hoarder? Like, I imagine that once you get into doing artwork like this, everything is potential art material. And I think
Yeah,
for me, it would be really hard to corral all of it so that I don't end up like drowning in stuff.
yeah, it happens. It happens. I try to be very organized in how keep my stash together. I have boxes and bins, and I try to divvy it up by type or by color. But it does get out of hand, especially when I'm working on a big project. Then, I need to be able to see everything, so everything comes out. And it's not
Yep.
always so easy to corral it all back into its bins sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it I have to stop myself every now and then, and I have to like kind of look at my stash and go, all right, that will never get used, and
Right.
I have to say goodbye. So
Yeah. I mean, we all have to do that, but I feel like when your art material is actually just like everywhere around you, it can even be harder to keep it under control, or at least
yes.
that would be for me. So do you have any favorite sort of tools or particular supplies like glue or scissors or anything like that that you would recommend to folks out there maybe they haven't used or
Hmm.
tried?
Let's see. Oh, I just discovered new, new to me tweezers. They're by XL. So I really like these. They're nice and sturdy, and they got a good spring to them. So I use those a lot. Um, Scissors, I can't really say I have a specific scissor. I like to use embroidery scissors for their sharp, pointy ends. And that just, yeah, scissors. I don't use my fabric scissors on my plastic. I do keep those separate, but just a good sharp pair of scissors. And I always use a thimble. I can't sew without a thimble, but I have my grandmother's thimble. I don't have a brand new thimble. Luckily, seems we had the same size hands. So I've
Nice.
got three of those. So that's what I use all the time.
Oh, I love that though. That's lovely. Thank you for those tweezer recommendations too. I feel
Sure.
like folks who use a certain tool a lot have strong opinions about which one's the best. And it sounds like tweezers are something you use a lot, so you know which ones have the good grip and the good spring and what you really need in a good pair of tweezers. So
Yes.
that's really helpful.
Yeah.
So if folks want to schedule you for a workshop or just look at your portfolio and think about ways that they can start a practice, with single-use plastics. Where should they go to sort of see what you have to offer?
Well, they should go to my website, which is artbynatalia.com, and that's Natalia with a Y. And I offer live classes on Zoom, and I am also available to travel to teach workshops. I just actually came back this morning from Baltimore. I did a lecture in person last night.
Wow.
Yeah, last night in Baltimore. It was really great to actually commune with people. So
Yeah.
I'm starting to do that. I don't do it too often, but I do it. So I'm available for that. But I'm always available over Zoom, and I teach my own workshops over Zoom as well. So, and
Okay.
all the information is on my website.
This is great. And you have such a unique take. And I feel like this would be great for guilds to book. I mean, there's just a lot of situations. I even think like schools, there's a lot of people who would be interested in sort of sustainability and art making and ways to combine the two. So
Yeah.
this has
Thank
been
you.
great, Natalia. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I see there's a question. Do I
Oh,
have any
yeah.
classes going on now? So I have a digital class. It's called Innovative Repurposing. And I so that the last lesson just dropped this last weekend, but it's still open for another 90 days. So if somebody wants to join in on that and binge watch through all the lessons, they're welcome to do that. And I have a book that class is based on. So that's all available on my website as well.
Fantastic. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you for being a Craft Industry Alliance member.
You're
And thanks for showing us around today.
Thank you. And thank you for what you're doing. What a wonderful organization. I'm happy to be a part of it.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, thanks for coming today, and we will see you on our member spotlight next week.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.